Hey, Kyle Sullerud here, and in this video, I'm going to take you from a complete beginner in Google Ads to being able to set up profitable campaigns like a pro. I'll also be highlighting 8 huge money-saving tips throughout this video, so pay attention and let's get started. If you're brand new to Google Ads, you should be able to find a coupon to save you a little money as you're getting started. Just go to google.com, search Google Ads coupon, and the first natural result here is going to come from Google, and currently what they do is match $150. So you spend $150 and about a month later they're going to credit you $150. So you don't get the money right away, but it's definitely helpful. If you already have a Google Ads account, you're not going to be able to use a coupon, so I would not even bother trying. So to start creating your ads, you need to set up an ad account. You can come to google.com and search Google Ads, and then find the top non-ad result. And from here, just click Start Now. If you're not signed into Google, you will need to sign in. And now Google's going to walk through a couple steps to actually creating the account. What you're going to want to do is just ignore these because I'm going to be walking you through these steps. Instead, look down here and switch to expert mode. Now to start creating your campaign, again, Google's going to want to walk you through a lot of this, but you're going to get ahead of everyone who does this guided setup by following along with me instead. So we're going to create a campaign without a goals guidance, and then this is going to be a search campaign. That's the bread and butter of Google. When you go to google.com and search for something, your ad is going to show up, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do in this particular video. So select search campaign, ignore this, and click continue. So now we're going to give the campaign a name. I'm going to set up a campaign for a local gym here where I live. So I'm going to just give the campaign a name for that gym, which is CrossFit Soulfire. Now under networks, you want to make sure to uncheck Google Display Network. That's going to allow your ad to show all across the internet on all kinds of websites that are not google.com. That's going to be very low quality traffic. We only want search traffic, so we want to uncheck this box. And I'd recommend leaving search partners checked. That's still going to limit your ad to search traffic. It is going to show on different websites that are not Google, but generally this traffic is actually very good. So leave search partners checked. For locations, you're going to want to select the city that you want your ad to show in. So in this particular case, we're going to want to show in Grand Forks, North Dakota. So I'm going to target that city. You can add multiple cities also. So East Grand Forks, I'm going to add also. You can also add zip codes here if you want, and you'll see that those will show up. So just depending on how specific you want your targeting to get, you can add cities, you can add zip codes, states, countries, whatever that is for you. But for now, I'm going to stick to these 2 cities. Now, a money-saving tip here, you want to change the target to the second option, people in or regularly in your targeted locations. The top option is going to allow your ad to be shown to people who simply show interest in your targeted location. So even though I'm advertising a gym in Grand Forks, North Dakota, if for some reason Google thinks someone was interested in Grand Forks, North Dakota, even if they're all the way across the country, they might see my ad. I want to prevent that from happening and only show my ad to people in or regularly in my targeted locations. Language, stick to one language here, even if you're targeting multiple languages. Set up a separate campaign for any additional language. So make sure here we only have one language, in this case, English. Audiences are more advanced. I'll talk about these later in the video. For now, we're going to leave that alone. For your budget, this is going to be a daily budget. So the best way to look at this is just to think of the monthly budget that you want to spend. Let's say I want to spend $300 a month. I'm going to set my budget at $10 per day. Now, in any given day, Google might spend more or less than $10, but over the course of a month, they're going to spend about $10 a day. They're going to spend that $300. And you can always change this later. So if you start out and the campaign is going well, you want to invest more, well, then you can come back and increase the daily budget. For bidding, we're going to focus on clicks. You see there are some other options here, but for a brand new starter campaign, we want to select clicks and then set a maximum cost per click bid limit. A little later in this video, I'll show you where you can find an estimate for a good limit to start with, depending on the keywords that you're targeting. For now, I'll just set a $1 limit. Under more settings here, you see that you can change this schedule. So if you only want to run during business hours, for example, you might want to change this Mondays through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., whatever that is for you. You could have a different schedule, Saturday, Sunday, for example, or you could just run the ad all days and times, which was the default. But pay attention to this, especially if you have a business that's just trying to produce leads at specific times, like during business hours when you could actually answer the phone. Ad rotation, I'd recommend changing to do not optimize. This will send equal traffic to whatever ads we're running. It'll allow us to look at the data and select which ads we want to continue running. Otherwise, Google's going to try to do this themselves, and at the current time, their system is not the best at optimizing ads. It usually starts to prefer one ad over another, even before the data really justifies that. Ad extensions, I'm going to talk about later in the video. For now, we have the basic settings out of the way. I'm going to save and continue. So now we're going to create our ad groups. So within a larger campaign, we have multiple different ad groups, and this tells Google which ads to show depending on the keywords people are searching. So the name of the ad group is going to be the primary keyword that we're going to be targeting inside that ad group. So for example, for this CrossFit gym is going to be one of the main keywords. Now, I'm actually not going to put any keywords in here right now. There's a different way to add keywords, which I'll show you shortly. For now, I just want to define the main keyword topics that I'm going to be targeting. So CrossFit gym is one, and then I'll add another ad group, and perhaps here we're going to target keywords related to personal training. And then here, perhaps just gyms. Okay, so these are the main topics that I want to target. And within these, then I'm going to have specific keywords. Now notice I'm not creating hundreds or dozens of different ad groups here. I'm not creating a separate ad group for CrossFit gym versus CrossFit classes. CrossFit classes keywords are going to go into this CrossFit gym ad group because I'm going to be able to write an ad that targets any keyword really related to CrossFit gym, CrossFit classes, and that's really what defines an ad group is, do we need a different ad for it? If we try to split this up too much, it actually ends up hurting you in the long run because your data is too segmented and it's not going to, you're not going to be able to optimize the campaign as well. So just create these big umbrella ad groups, and we're going to put our keywords into those shortly. For now, I'm going to save and continue. So next is where we write our ads. You see it's giving us our ad groups that we just set up, CrossFit gym, personal training, and gyms. So now is where I'm going to write ads for each of these ad groups. So what I need to do is get the website address for the business. So here we are. Now, You'll see this looks like a normal business website. It's not the best design if we're trying to generate leads for a business. So later on, probably in a different video, I'm going to go through how I might set up a landing page for this particular business. But for now, just to get the ad set up and get started, we can definitely grab the link here, and we're going to then put that in this campaign as the final URL. So if someone clicks on the ad, this is the website they're going to go to. Now the ad is going to consist also of a headline and description. So the headline, most important part. Usually what you want to do is include a headline that contains the keywords that we are targeting. So in this case, CrossFit gym, and then maybe I'll add the city. Simple, but it works. You can certainly get more creative than this. You might find that the more creative headlines don't perform as well as these simple headlines that include the keyword and the city of the business that you are advertising for. So I'm going to just start with this. Headline 2, we can add something a little more enticing. So in this case, we might have a free trial membership. Headline 3 will say, learn more. We want people to click on the ad. Okay, that's the main thing. We want them to come to the website. We don't need to include everything about the business in the ad. We really just want them to come to the website. Now notice here we can preview the ad. So this is how it'll look on mobile. This is how it'll look on desktop. Now, if we were to include more text in the headlines, so for example, learn more by visiting, you see as I typed in more words here, on desktop, that headline 3 isn't going to show. Even with a short headline 3 like this, it might not show up all the time. So don't put anything crucial in the headline 3 spot. Okay, this is just kind of a bonus location where we're going to put something like learn more, but don't count on someone actually seeing the headline 3. And then in the description lines, you can include a little more. So you see there are a lot more characters to work with. This is where you would include additional features, benefits of your product or service. Give people more reason to click on your ad if they're still reading it at this point, if they haven't already clicked on the headline. So maybe here we'll put morning, evening, weekend classes. Okay, and then you can see in the preview, this is how it's going to look. Notice I use an exclamation mark here. You can do that in the description. You can use one. You cannot include exclamation marks or in the headline, but I'm putting it in the description because I'm able to. And you can also include a second description if you want. You can see this just would come after the first description line. Okay, I'm not going to include a description 2 here, is not required. So this is what we need for our ad. I'm going to click done and create next ad. So now you can see I'm still in the same ad group here for CrossFit Gym. And now I'm creating a second ad, and it's already pre-filled in some of what I had in the first ad. So maybe for my second ad, all I'm going to do is try a different headline 2. So that could be my second headline 2, and maybe everything else is the same, okay? Headline 3, description, everything else is the same. So what I'm really doing here is split testing headline 2, which later, once the ads have been running for a while, we can look at both versions of the ad, see which one is doing better, and continue with that version of the ad. Now you could write a completely different ad here to test, or you could simply test just a different headline 2 like I've done here. So done and create next ad. Now what it's going to want us to do is set up a responsive search ad. This is not something I want to do. I want more control over what the ad is going to say. So I'm just going to stick to the 2 text ads I've already created. I'm not going to create a responsive search ad, which basically you would enter a bunch of different headlines, a bunch of different description lines, and then Google's going to pick and choose which headline, which description line to show for different searches. Okay, I don't want to do that. More control, so I'm going to stick to the 2 text ads. Now here we have our second ad group for personal training. So the ads could be very similar, but instead of CrossFit gym, we have personal training. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste the URL. You may have a different landing page for personal training versus CrossFit, but in this case, okay, we can't fit the city and the state here like we did up here. So I'm just going to put the city. Okay, and then here maybe we have a free trial session. Learn more. So you get the idea. You're going to really just change up the ads just enough so that they fit with the theme of the ad group that we've already defined. So for our gym ad group, maybe we're going to just use the same ads that we wrote for the CrossFit gym ad group. Okay, we don't want to attract people looking for Planet Fitness or a big gym chain like that. We still want people to know this is a CrossFit gym before they click on the ad and we have to pay for it. So we'd still want to be somewhat specific, even if we're targeting general keywords like gym. We still want to get specific with our ad. So let's assume we've gone through this and we have 2 ads now for each of our ad groups. The next thing Google's going to want you to do is set up your billing if you haven't done that. So you'll want to complete this step and submit. After you submit your billing then, it's important to go into the campaign right away because it's going to automatically be on. So explore your campaign and we can see over here, this is the campaign that we just created. And this little green dot means that it's on. So to turn it off, we can click on the name of the campaign and then up here, change this from enabled to pause. It's important to do that until we're completely done setting up the campaign. So let me show you around this screen a little bit, and then I'll continue with the next steps of getting the campaign live. So over here, you see the name of the campaign. If you have multiple campaigns, they're all going to be listed on the side. If we go into a campaign like I've done here, we can then go to this ad groups section, and here you see the 3 ad groups that I have set up. If we go into any of these ad groups, this is where we're going to be able to add keywords. Okay, now on the left here, we can see some different options like ads. This is where we're going to see the ads that I've created, audiences, demographics, which I'll get to later in this video. But that's basically what you need to know is just the campaign structure of the account. So we have campaigns, below that are ad groups, and then within each ad group are the keywords and the ads. Now we're going to add the keywords. Remember, we haven't done that yet. I said we were saving that for later. There are lots of different ways to do this. Usually what I personally do is actually build out a spreadsheet, pull in research from a lot of different sources, and then add them to my account. But that's more advanced than I want to get into in this video. What I'm going to show you is how to use the keyword planner and just add keywords directly to your account. So we're going to go to Tools and Settings up here at the top, and then Keyword Planner. Now, what I'm going to do is search for my main keyword from each ad group. So CrossFit gym, personal training, and gyms. So let me start with personal training. So type that in here and click Get Results. And now what I'm going to see is a list of a bunch of keywords related to what I just typed in. So we have personal trainer near me. All I need to do is go down this list and check the boxes next to the keywords that I actually want to target. So I'm going to just choose the best ones. I'm not going to select things like Planet Fitness personal trainer. I'm just going to choose the ones that I would want to pay for. I'd want to pay for clicks from people searching for these keywords. Now, you should go down the whole list and actually do a good job with this. I'm just going to stop here so I can show you the next step. A couple more things, though, first. You can see Google showing us the average monthly searches for these keywords. And this is based on the location that is selected. So up here, it's the whole United States that's selected. You can change this to your specific location, but the results might just be a little more limited. I usually just leave this as the United States. And it's also showing us the estimated top of page bid. So somewhere between $2.26 and $6.72. That's what Google's estimating we would need to pay per click for our ad to show at the top of the page. And you can see most of the keywords are pretty similar to that. Keep that in mind because we're going to need to use this data shortly. But first, I'm going to add the keywords to the campaign. So up here, you can see I can add to existing campaign and then select the campaign I want to add this to. And then select the ad group that I want to add this to, so personal training. And then for the match type, I'm going to choose phrase match. What this means is someone's searching on Google, their search term has to include one of the phrases that we've selected here. So they could type in just personal trainer, our ad would be eligible to show, or they could type in something like personal trainer in Grand Forks, North Dakota, or a local personal trainer. The key is that it has to have this phrase included. If it doesn't, then our ad's not going to show. But if it does have this phrase, then our ad is eligible to show. And that's what we want because there are lots of ways someone could be searching for a business like ours. We don't want to limit it to just personal trainer or personal trainer near me. We want to be able to capture the various ways someone might go to Google and type in our product or service. And yes, there are more advanced strategies using all the different match types, but it's going to work just to get you started to just select phrase match. It's going to filter in the good searches and get rid of most of the bad searches. So once we've selected these options here, click Add Keywords, and that just added them directly into that ad group. Okay, you can see over here the status says in account. That means these are now in our campaign. So let's go back to the bid. Remember, when we were setting this up, I just set the maximum bid at $1. It looks like that's not going to be enough. Okay, we're going to have to bid higher than that if we want our ad to show at the top of the page. So somewhere between these two amounts is where I would start. We can always adjust this later, but I'm going to go ahead and set a maximum bid of $4. So to do that, I need to get out of the keyword planner and go back to the campaign. Now we can see if we go into this personal training ad group that our keywords are now there, these keywords that we just added. To adjust the bid, what I'm going to do is go back to the campaign and then the campaign settings right here. And now here is where our bid strategy is set up. And what I can do is increase the maximum bid here to $4. Okay. Now, what Google's actually going to do with our $10 a day budget, they're going to try to get us as many clicks as possible from our keywords for $10 a day, but at the maximum, we'll be paying $4 per click. Now, this may mean that we could get 5 clicks at $2 a click, 10 clicks at $1 a click, or maybe just a couple clicks at $4 a click. But Google's algorithms are going to do their job to try to get as many clicks as possible. Let me say now that clicks are not the most important thing in a campaign. Sales, leads, conversions, those are the most important things. So eventually, once we have some more data in our account that tells us the sales we're making, the leads we're getting, we would want to change the bid strategy to something like target cost per conversion, or possibly maximize conversions. But for starters, maximize clicks is what we're going to use. So now that I've set the new bid limit, I'm going to just save that. So now we should be able to get traffic with that bid that we've set. So then we'd repeat that process for all of our ad groups, adding relevant keywords to those ad groups. The next thing we need to do, which is super important, is add negative keywords. A negative keyword tells Google that if somebody's search query includes one of our negative keywords, we do not want our ad to show. So to research negative keywords, a lot of these should be obvious just off the top of your head. You can think of things like personal training at home or personal training videos. We wouldn't want our ads to show for those things. So we might add home or videos as a negative keyword. For some more advanced research that'll save you a ton of money, you'll want to go to negativekeywordpro.com. And what you can do here is enter a keyword. So I'm going to enter CrossFit here. Click Get Suggestions. And this tool is going to show me, based on Google's predictive search, what are some things that people search along with the word CrossFit. And you can see these are localized results. That's why it's giving me the names of some cities in my area. But what I want to do here is look for things that I would not want to pay for. So Fargo is a different city. I don't want to pay for that. This is the name of another CrossFit gym in town. I don't want to pay if people are searching for that. And I'd go down this list and check off words that I don't want to pay for. Okay, shoes. And this is the free version, so we're only going to see 20 results. You can take this a step further and get the paid version, which you see is going to give you 540 total results for this particular word. So once I've built up my list here, I can copy all and then just go ahead and copy this list of words that I've selected. So back in the campaign, we're going to add the negative keywords to the campaign. So go to the keywords section and then negative keywords up here, add negative keywords, and now we can paste in the negative keywords we found. And remember, we've thought of some other ones like home, videos, whatever we can think of. The more negative keywords you can list here, the better, because we're bidding $4 per click. So every one of these, if we hadn't already added them as a negative keyword, could potentially cost us money. We will be able to see the things people have searched for before clicking on our ads, and we will be able to add negative keywords later based on that information, but it's best to add these to the campaign up front. Once we've added all the negative keywords we can think of and find, we're going to click Save, and now those are applied to the campaign. So with our keywords, ads, and negative keywords all ready to go, the campaign can be turned on and we would start to get traffic. But there are some more advanced features that I want to show you right now before I let you go. So within the campaign, we see these different options on the side here. First thing I want to show you is devices. Okay, this allows us to adjust our bid or even completely exclude traffic from certain devices. If you have a product that just doesn't sell well on mobile phones or vice versa, you could completely exclude mobile phones by setting a bid adjustment of negative 100%. Okay, or if you have a product that sells maybe a little better on mobile phones and it's worth paying a little more for that traffic, you could do a increase bid adjustment of, say, something like 25%. Usually you wouldn't know this right away. The data is going to guide you here after you've been running the campaign for a while, but this is where you can come in and adjust bids for this different type of traffic. The ad schedule here, remember we set this up while we were setting up the campaign. If you need to make adjustments to this, you can come in here. It'll also show you a little table here of what your schedule actually looks like for the whole week. Locations, you can come in and edit right here. You can also exclude locations if you want. So if you're targeting a major city, but you want to exclude certain zip codes, you can do that right here. If we want to get back to campaign settings, we can do that right here and adjust things like our budget, adjust the search partner network if we need to. All the different general campaign settings can be edited right here. Demographics. So this could be extremely important for some types of businesses. This is going to allow you to only target specific age groups, specific genders, specific household incomes. This isn't always the most reliable, so don't count on this working perfectly. But I have seen, especially recently, the household income is getting better and better. So if you're only selling a product that people of a certain income level are going to want to buy, you may consider coming in and excluding the other income groups. And what you would do, so let's say we want to exclude 18 to 24-year-olds. Okay, we can just come here and click exclude from ad group, exclude from ad group, exclude from ad group. Okay. One other thing you can do, maybe you do want to target men and women, but you have different messaging for each one. You could set up one campaign for females and exclude males. You can set up another campaign for males and exclude females. Also notice there's an unknown category. Usually about half of the traffic you get is going to be unknown, so make sure you're taking that into account also. Audiences is going to let us get even more detailed with the traffic that we want and don't want. So let me show you how this looks. If I'm going to add an audience here, what I would strongly recommend doing is only adding it for observation. This allows you to get traffic from other audiences, but you will be able to see differences in traffic from the audience you select. If you were to select targeting, that's only going to give you traffic from the audience you select. And since a relatively small percentage of people are going to be in any given audience, it's really going to narrow your traffic and limit it by a lot. So I only ever use observation here when I'm setting up audiences in a search campaign. So I might search for audiences related to fitness. Okay, fitness products and services, fitness classes and personal training services. These would be very good audiences to add. And if it turns out that these audiences do well compared to people who aren't in these audiences, then I can come here, adjust the bid, and tell Google, hey, I want to pay more for someone if they're in this audience specific to fitness classes. So really powerful stuff. You can also exclude audiences. Okay, so under exclusions, let's say, and by the way, you can search or you can browse. Okay, so let's say that, let's say I am offering a service for homeowners. Okay, what I can do is come here to homeowner status and exclude renters. And that way I'm not going to be spending money on people who are just renters. And you can do that with any audience that's available here. So if you have a product that is not going to appeal to a certain type of person, go ahead and look for that audience. That's often more powerful than actually targeting a specific audience. The audience exclusions can be extremely helpful in saving you a lot of money. Earlier, I mentioned ad extensions and said I would get to these later. These are actually easier to add once the campaign is already built. You go to the ads and extensions section, and then up here, click extensions. And you'll see they're showing us some of the more common extensions to add. Or if we click create ad extension, it'll give us all the different options. These are all the different types of extensions we can add. Some ones that you should strongly consider that I pretty much always add are site link extensions, call out extensions, and for businesses that are trying to drive phone calls, call extensions. So to add any of these, you just click on the extension type, and then you're going to fill in the information that Google is asking for. For site links specifically, you see these appear below the ad. It's going to be a link with custom text that you would enter right here. And when people click on that link, it's going to take them to that part of the site. Could be a different part of the site than your main ad, or it could actually be the same page as your main ad, and you're just using the site links to include additional things in your ad. Now, all of the extensions are a little different. I'd say just come in here, play around with them, see how it's going to look, because they're always going to show you a preview. And again, the main ones that I recommend are site links, callouts, and call extensions. Now, I mentioned earlier that we can actually see the phrases people type into Google before clicking on our ad. These might be our keywords. They might be a little bit different. So to see what these are, you'd go to the keywords section, and then up here, search terms. Okay, and once you have a campaign that's been running, you're going to see people's search terms down here. They may be typing in the exact keywords you're targeting, or they may be typing in completely different things. It's going to show you all of that here. So now if you see things that have been typed in that you don't want to ever pay for again, you can add those as negative keywords. Or perhaps you're seeing some things that have been typed in that do look good and you want to keep paying for that traffic. You can add those as keywords, and you'll be able to do all of that right from the search terms section here. Checking the search term report is the most important thing you should be doing on a regular basis in your account. If you do nothing else, okay, you need to at least be coming into this search term report and excluding searches that you don't want to pay for. Okay, when I see accounts that are wasting money, this is where they're wasting money. They're getting traffic from low value and irrelevant search terms, a problem that can easily be solved just by coming in and checking your search term report on a regular basis. Now, let me talk about conversions. So I've mentioned a couple times that clicks are not the most important thing. Leads and sales and conversions are. But we need to set up that tracking so Google knows when conversions are happening after people click on our ads. You do that up in Tools and Settings and Conversions. And what you're going to do is create a conversion. Okay, most commonly, you're just going to do a website conversion. You're going to tell Google what the thing is. Is it a purchase, a lead? You're going to enter the information here and continue. And then Google's going to give you some code to install on your website. Okay, follow Google's instructions when it comes to that code to make sure it's set up in the right place. I'm not going to get into all of that, but Google offers instructions with that, or you can send it to your web developer and install that code in the correct place on your website. You can also import conversions. So for call tracking, I use a service called callrail.com. It allows all the phone calls to be tracked So someone clicks on my ad, they land on a website, and they call the phone number on that website. That is actually a tracking number. It's going to be able to track that call back to the Google ad campaign and report it as a conversion. So then I can actually see which specific location, which specific keyword actually caused that call to happen. And that's how I'm going to be able to look at what is producing conversions with my ad and start to adjust my campaign accordingly. That's when I can start to use different bidding strategies like target CPA and maximize conversions. So now you know more than 95% of the people who are advertising on Google, and you're well on your way to running successful, profitable campaigns. But do you want to keep going? Do you want that extra golden information that's going to put you in the top 1% of marketers and enable you to get the best results possible? Then I encourage you to check out my advanced training. I'll put some links in the description so you can learn more. Thanks for watching. My name is Kyle Sullerud. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.